Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12th, 2023 from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.
What is up, guys? Welcome in right here to WagerTalk TV. You're watching Puck Time. I am Andrew McInnis. I have Carmine Bianco with me and Lawrence Presman. We are talking hockey here on Puck Time. We got 4 games we're discussing. Best bets at the end. Some great promos to go over as well. I'm going to take a note out of Prez and Teddy, what they do at the start of their show. I'm going to tell you guys what I learned last night. And what I learned was that the Coyotes just got the biggest upset since 2006 last night, cashing in as plus 410 underdogs against the Colorado Avalanche. What an upset that was in a shootout. It kind of comes on a very funny week, Carm, after we were talking about these big favorites. Obviously, no one's laying minus 600 with the Avalanche, but a huge upset there from the Coyotes. A very interesting night last night in the NHL, an overtime game with the Capitals and the Penguins, and so much more. So, Carm, I'll go to you first, man. How was your night last night, and what are your thoughts on that biggest upset since 2006?
Yeah, you know what? I pretty much tuned out of the 2 late NHL games after the early ones were done and watched some more of Yellowstone to finish off season 3. But I was tuning in on the scores, and then I noticed later, I'm like, wow, Arizona won that game in Colorado, and and then I'm like, we probably shouldn't discuss it on the show because someone did say to us, how come you haven't talked about Colorado? They've won 15 straight or 18 straight, and you guys aren't discussing it. Well, it's because it's public knowledge. Everyone knows. And if they're not on the card as one of the games that we're featuring, then we usually don't discuss those streaks. Maybe we mention it in passing, but this one does get a mention. That is it was a monster price, more or less the day. I think if going back to how my night was, I think if the Pittsburgh Penguins win, or I get a bit of puck luck in that Pittsburgh game, I'll take a small win on the night. Instead, it was the reverse, a small loss. They absolutely dominated Washington and couldn't get it done in overtime. And I'm actually, if you watch the highlights of that Pittsburgh game, not to harp on it, if you watch Sidney Crosby, he never does this. He gave up on a play 3-on-3 in his own zone where he let Orlov just get away from him, go in on goal and score that goal. Crosby never does that. He's always there on the ice. A little disappointing, but I did get some puck luck in the Calgary game. They came back from 3-1 down to beat the Dallas Stars 4-3. So I'm pretty happy about that one. At least at a winning end to the night. But anyways, it's the final show of the week because we've got the All-Star break coming up. And who else to help us close out the week than the one and the only Prez. Lawrence, how you doing?
Carm, well, I'm happy to be here. I was on Dallas last night, so I had a losing night, and man, I'll tell you, I am so frustrated with this NHL season. Yesterday, there was no daily presidential address because the rule with my clients is that the rule on that show is I have to get 100 likes to give out, to have a daily presidential address. I got like 97. But the 3 plays I was going to give out on the daily presidential address, Rangers, Vancouver over, Leafs over. 3-0, and I released the loser, and that has been going on the whole year for me. I am in the zone in hockey. I am seeing hockey incredibly. I just can't pick the right play to release to my clients, and it is waning on me. It's so frustrating. In regards to the Colorado Avalanche, yesterday on Twitter, some handicapper released his lock of the century, Colorado minus 500. And then you should read the comments below. It was like, kick back, don't even watch this game. It's over before it started. Easiest winner ever. Yeah.
Prez, let me ask you a question with regards to that. Okay, first of all, as far as the Colorado one, I think it's amusing, and you should never play these numbers. It was 600.
Hold on one second.
Minus 600 and higher in some places. If you bet Colorado's last 7, hold on, just one quick step. You bet Colorado's last 7 games, you're even. And they've won 6 of 7 games. This is why you can't play minus 600. You win 6 out of 7 games and you're even. The money lines are absolutely ridiculous. But my point to your 3 plays that didn't, that won, the same thing was happening to me where a lot of winners were ending up on the cutting room floor. Why not put along with your Dallas Calgary play in the analysis section, guys? These are my presidential picks. They're not official plays, but plays I like. I'm pretty sure your clients would appreciate knowing what goes on in your head.
I'll tell you why.
Three additional winners.
Yeah, okay. You know what? Good idea. I'm going to start doing that from now on. Big Cannoli writes, you really Jewed us for 3 likes? What the hell is wrong with you, Big Cannoli? You think that's a funny statement? Firstly, I don't owe you shit. Secondly, 100 likes is 100 likes, not 97. And thirdly, have we not passed the stage in civilization that you have to use such derogatory bullshit? I don't find that funny. I find that ridiculous, insulting, stupid, ignorant, and reflects very poorly on you and your parents. The hell nonsense is that? Sorry, Andrew.
Getting on, Andrew. I know you have something you wanted to talk about, either game 1, which is the Edmonton-Washington game, or a little deal you have put together. I'll leave it to you.
That is definitely not acceptable, and I definitely do not mind Prez saying that and mentioning that. It's not acceptable to be mentioned in the comments section there at all. But we have a great combo that we are running. Carmine and I did not create this. Head office created this for Carmine and I. It is our Puck Time Power Play 2-for-1 combo with Carmine and I. You buy this package, you don't just get one of our plays, you get all of our plays from both of us. For the rest of the season. Works out to around $3.33 a day, $499. This is the regular season, guys. Both of us are having great seasons, running very hot right now. Also, you're going to get all kinds of my props in this package as well. So both of us for $499, limited time only, $3.33. So, Carm, looking forward to doing this show every day.
Yeah.
But now we can tell people, hey, these are our plays. If you want to get both of us, here's the package.
Yeah, and it's not only the NHL plays, size and totals. It is even any of my clients know I throw up the at least one, I was going to say at least once a night, but at least 3 or 4 times a week, I will put up a 2-game parlay. Much like yesterday's hit, I got another one lined up for tonight as well too. And you put up player props, and you hit a plus 245 player prop last night, which was pretty damn good. So you're getting a mix of everything. And then I'm going to sweeten the pot just because I do this stuff all the time. I don't have to do it. I just want to do it because it's who I am. At the end of the month, I'll look to see anyone who took advantage of this package. I'll put your names in a dish or whatever, and I'm going to give out a couple of the Puck Time hoodies. Your choice of slogan on it, your choice of color, and of course your choice of size, because I'm not going to send you a small if you're eating pizza 7 days a week at home. You're not fitting into that, but I will give one out regardless. But let's get to some hockey, Andrew.
Let's jump into it, Carm. Oilers, Capitals, Wild, Blackhawks, Kraken, and the New York Islanders, and the Flames and the Coyotes. we just spent some time promoting ourselves and promoting the package we have going on. So I'll go to you first, Prez, with the Edmonton Oilers and the Washington Capitals going head-to-head. Obviously, the Capitals went to overtime yesterday. They're playing them back-to-back. Oilers on their road trip here. Prez, I think we're on the same page. You like the Oilers. It was a buy for you. I did my segment on Monday. They were a buy for me. Unfortunately, that same day I did my buy and sell segment, they lose to the Ottawa Senators in overtime. That was rough for me to see, but I still like what the Oilers are doing here, and I like Evander Kane on this roster. What are your thoughts in this game, Prez?
Yeah, dude, I'm with you, man. I had a 5% play on Edmonton in regulation against Ottawa, and I lost. And I'm not gonna jump off the Edmonton bandwagon right now. I think now with Evander on, Zach has moved down to the third line. I think they're now rolling out 3 lines that can score, which gives them a lot of balance. And their goaltender is playing better, Koskinen. I love this Edmonton team. I don't think they're a Stanley Cup contender, but I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think when I'm looking at this game, Andrew, I went to bed last night thinking I like the over 6. Then I wake up and it's now 6.5. I don't bet 6.5s to the over. I find 7 to be a number that's just, you almost need one team to get 5 goals to get to 7. I know 4-3 gets to 7 as well, but man, expecting both teams to score over 3 goals is just not something I think is a winning proposition on a regular basis. So my initial lean was to the over 6. I still like over 6.5, but I can't get to the window. I think Edmonton is the play here, Andrew. I think it's the right spot for them. They did win 4 in a row. They lost to Ottawa, but they have had a couple of days rest. They're getting Washington on a back-to-back. Not only a back-to-back, but an emotional first game for Washington. Anytime they play Pittsburgh, that's a very big and important game for them. So I like Edmonton here, and I like over the total.
All right, Edmonton and the over for Prez. Carm, what about you, man? Good game tonight here on tap.
Yeah, I get it what Prez says. He's not ready to give up on Edmonton, nor should you. This is a good team. And I'm going to continue to say what I say about him, which is I really hope that Ken Holland brings in a goalie and a proven playoff goalie before the trade deadline. And no, you know who actually would work, and this
Carey Price.
This is a weird. This would be a weird move, but it can be done because you have the Arizona Coyotes who've come out and said we will absorb any contract as long as we're getting some type of a deal, which is picks, because they're stockpiling their picks. A 3-way deal between Edmonton, Chicago, who are looking to cut a lot of their players, get rid of a lot of those contracts. Fleury, his contract absorbed by Arizona, and then he ends up in Edmonton with a draft pick going the other way, is one of those 3-way deals that we've seen happen in the past years, Lawrence, and it could happen again. Fleury, I'm telling you, Fleury in an Edmonton uniform would look absolutely great come playoff time because the man has a proven pedigree come playoff time. But with that said, getting back to this game, I agree. You can't take the over 6.5 here, even if the end result is there's a ton of goals. The markets moved this down. It was Washington minus 135 in the openers, down to 115. And when we talk about teams playing back-to-back, and Washington played last night in a game, they were outplayed by Pittsburgh that went to overtime. The numbers speak well for Washington in back-to-backs. This is the last 3 years. They're 3-2-1 this year, 7-1 last season in the tail end of a back-to-back, and going further back, 6-2-2. So 16-5-3 in the second of a back-to-back. You normally want to fade a team in a back-to-back. I don't know how you can here, but this is a very good Edmonton team. With that said, I'm still going to that total. I don't like the over. I'm going to go to the under 6.5 here. I think we see a lower scoring game and the final one before these teams head off into the All-Star break.
It's definitely a big game. And you talk about the game prior to the All-Star break, which I think will be a theme for us here on Puck Time. Talking about motivation, defense, which teams are slumping, which teams are tired right now. So I said on the show a couple days ago that I feel as if the term and expression back to back is the most overused handicapping thing in the entire industry. Oh, this team's on a back to back. They're going to be flat. To me, it's all circumstantial. And this is a big game for both clubs. Edmonton wants a bounce back after losing to Ottawa. Like you said, Carm, we saw Washington play their rival with the Pittsburgh Penguins and go to overtime in a game that the analytical numbers will show they didn't really deserve to win. So to me, this is an example where I will take the back-to-back into consideration. Great stuff by you, though, pulling up those numbers, because I do remember that they have had great success with back-to-backs, the Washington Capitals historically. So it should be a really interesting game. And the point that Prez made there about the fact that Edmonton has three lines, I talked about that on Monday, and it's really apparent. I mean, you can really see it. The fact that those three guys with Hyman, Draisaitl, and McDavid could potentially be on three separate lines is massive now for the Edmonton Oilers. So I think Evander Kane brings a lot to the team. And let's not forget, this is everything else aside, what he comes with. He has actually mentioned it's going to take him some time to get his legs back. He played a couple games in the AHL, but then hasn't played for a couple days, for not more than a couple days. He openly said in an interview after the game, it's going to take me a couple games. So I feel like this could be a good opportunity here in the bounce back situation that they are in to get his legs going and get back. And so they're still offering some great props, guys, on Evander Kane to get a point, which is shocking. He's up there in the top line with McDavid and Yamamoto. You can also get him to get an assist, guys, at plus 150, which I thought was a pretty good prop wager to take a look at. Our second game, we've got the Minnesota Wild and the Chicago Blackhawks going head-to-head here tonight. As we mentioned, last game for these teams, every team before the All-Star break. Chicago plus 140 at home. Minnesota minus 165 on the road. The total's at 6. And Carm, this just to me looks like a game where I want to look towards the over. I expect a goal fest between these two teams in the last game before the break. Could you talk me off it?
I'm not going to talk you off it because I like that too. But when you look at the game, I think the only way you can look at it is Minnesota. You look at since the turn of the year, if nothing else, Chicago's been consistent in January. Lose 4 games, win 4 games, and then start another losing streak. You look at them; they win 5-10 in January, and they had one signature win over like a quality opponent, and that was Fleury returning to Vegas and Chicago winning that game 2-1. Every other game that every other game they've only won 4 other games, and they're not quality opponents in my opinion. And then you look at Minnesota, they had that 5-game losing skid, and now they're unbeatable. They're 8-0-1 their last 9 games. They've beaten Chicago twice this year. I just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's just, it's one of those things. I'm going to just stick with Minnesota here. I think Minnesota's the play, and I do like your over bet there. Prez?
Well, I just want to say quickly about back-to-back games. Andrew, listen, it's worth doing the work. Like when you say that you think back-to-back games the most overrated term in sports handicapping, blah, 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 go back, look at each team, see how they do in a back-to-back situation. Those numbers are actually available, and they're going to tell you whether it is a load of shit or it is something real. And there are teams where it is real. And I mean, to give you an example, most back-to-back games, teams play their backup goalie in either the first or second night, one of the two. Well, a lot of teams have shit backup goaltenders, and a lot of teams have really good backup goaltenders. So I think it is definitely something as well. Back-to-back in an away environment is different to back-to-back when you're at home, both games. So there is something there, and it is Guys can go
Prez,
and
let me jump in
research
for a
those
second.
numbers.
Let me jump in for 1 sec. The travel is the biggest thing that you just touched on. To me, the travel is more important than actually physically playing the games. So that point you just made is huge for me.
Ultimately, it's irrelevant. Back to back is back to back. So, you know, it likely means something, and the information is there and available to research. As for the Minnesota Wild and Chicago Blackhawks, firstly, I like that Fleury trade. I agree, Carm. It makes a lot of sense. Chicago's going absolutely nowhere. They won 4, they lost 1. They just lost to Vancouver. They lost to Colorado. When you look at the over in this game, and I know both you guys lean towards the over, the problem for me is the inconsistency of Chicago. They put up 1 against Vancouver, then 4, then 8 against Detroit. And before that, they put up 0 against Colorado. Here's a team that is equally likely to put up 1 goal as it is to put up 3 goals. I can't bet totals with teams like that. I don't have any opinion on the total, but I do like Minnesota in regulation. 5 wins in a row. These teams don't compare. Minnesota is going to go into the break feeling good about themselves, in Chicago trying to figure out who they can unload to reload, so to speak. I like Minnesota Wild in regulation at -110.
And the Chicago Blackhawks, talk about the inconsistency there. The thing with them, and I always talk about depth every day on this show, the problem is when they don't have a handful of guys doing the scoring, then you wonder really where that production is going to come from. And for the Minnesota Wild, they don't really have that issue as much. There's several guys for them that can contribute, put the puck in the net, and make some noise for them on any given night. If you don't have Patrick Kane, having a good game, if you don't have DeBrincat playing his best hockey, I worry about the Chicago Blackhawks there. So, I definitely understand what you're saying there about the goal production for the Blackhawks. And to your point there about cashing some overs, even when it's like 6.5, that you need a team to score 5 goals. Prez, I've been a lot more of a team total guy lately. It's just been something, especially with these high totals. It's ridiculous, like the Leafs games. Look at the big favorite, the chalk the Leafs were the past 2 games. If you took their team total the past 2 games, you cashed a good ticket. Yesterday's Leafs game, if you took their team total or you took the over, you might be sweating because you might be thinking, oh my God, are the Devils even going to score a goal? So do you ever bet those, Prez, or just the full game totals?
No, I have bet team totals. It's extremely rare for me to do that. But it makes a lot of sense, Andrew. Instead of taking the favorite and over 6.5, just take the favorite to score 4 goals. I get it. Man, Terry just
listen.
Terry's got Minnesota Wild
and,
issues.
Prez, Terry hasn't seen a Wild game he doesn't like. They're going to go 82-0 this year.
To your and to your point, I get it. When you're playing totals, you want production from both teams. It's tough to take a total when you're looking at a team and they're averaging 2.7 goals per game over a season, because a lot of the times they're going to score below that in a game. But this is a game where if you look at how the game's likely to be played, it's going to be played at Minnesota's pace more than it's going to be played at Chicago's pace. Minnesota, their last 5 games, they've scored 24 goals in these 5 wins. That's nearly 5 goals per game production. So you would say to yourselves, you would think Chicago could get you at least a couple in the game. Get you a couple, and this probably does get over the total, because the 5-2 gets you there. But you don't want to be hoping for 5-2 when you've got a 6. You're hoping for a score much bigger than that. But not every team is the Florida Panthers either, that seem to be putting up huge numbers, or the Leafs the last couple of games where it's been target practice against the New Jersey Devils, 13 goals in 2 games.
Well, the problem with the Florida Panthers now is that their team totals are starting to get to 5.5 or 4.5 even. There's no more 3.5 with that team at a reasonable price. I mean, it's getting a little bit ridiculous. Carm, we got to talk about your favorite team in the league, the New York Islanders. That's the next game on tap here, or at least what our viewing audience thinks is your favorite team in the league.
No,
They're playing
the team
Kraken
the team we're gonna talk about in the next game after this one is becoming my favorite team, and we'll talk about it in a second. But
okay,
yeah, listen, this Seattle and Islanders one. I actually put this up on WagerTalk's free play section as they play the Islanders in a regulation time. They come off the win yesterday against Ottawa. I believe they're 9-4-1 since getting their players back from the injury and COVID list at home. But this is a team that, while you might have thought, or I might have thought, had a shot to make the playoffs, they're just running out of time. They've still got a ton of games in hand on Boston, but the teams in the East are just too good right now, and they just aren't losing. Boston has that 8th spot right now at 55 points. And then, the Islanders are 17 back, having played 5 less games. Even if they were to go 5-0, they are still 7 points back. 7 points this late in the season is hard enough, never mind the 17. Doesn't mean we can't make any money off this team still as we go along. Seattle, this is their last game of the road trip. Obviously, this 4-game road trip, East Coast trip. Upset Pittsburgh as a big dog in the first one. Again, a big favorite going down. And then lost the last couple, losing in Boston last night. Back-to-backs, this is their inaugural season, but they are 1-6 in the second of a back-to-back this season. So take that for what it's worth. They're not great in back-to-backs. So I'm going with the Islanders in regulation time here. You can find that up there. They have a 7% chance of making the playoffs to the Islanders right now. So that's not good at all. Prez?
Yeah, Carm, I'm with you, man. I like the Islanders in regulation here as well. And you know what? Interestingly enough, they're 16, 3-3 on the season. They win tonight. They go into the break over 500 on the year. And really, from their perspective, they don't believe they have a 7% chance of making the playoffs. They don't believe they're out of it. And I think they're going to go into the break feeling like, hey, we're a 10-game win streak away from being in this thing with all those games in hand as well. And, this is the same New York Islander team, give or take, that has run deep the last 2 years in a row. And they're playing the Seattle Kraken. And, I mean, the Kraken are not a very good team. We know that. They lost to Boston 3-2. They lost to the Rangers 3-2. They're coming in on a 2-game losing streak, and they just want this break to begin, especially being on the road here. I don't know the numbers, but I'm really curious. These all-star breaks, or the Olympic break, or the week off break, teams on the road versus teams at home. It would be an interesting thing to look at, because I think these teams on the road just want to get out of Dodge, get home, hang out with their wife, kids, etc. So I'm with you, dude. I like the Islanders in regulation. I think the Islanders are a play-on team moving forward.
I agree. It's also a very tough one for the Seattle Kraken yesterday, pulling off that comeback and then choking late in the game against the Boston Bruins. Guys, here's what I want everybody to know about the New York Islanders. One thing about them: they beat teams they should beat. Okay, that sounds simple enough. It sounds easy enough. They always perform in games they should. The problem is, a game like last night, they're monstrous favorites. So we talk about the regulation all the time on this show. This is a team that you want to use the regulation on, because they're really overpriced. I mean, to me, the way they've played this season, they shouldn't be these big of favorites. And that's, to me, is a problem. But here's an interesting number here, guys. The Islanders are 10-1 in their last 11 games as a favorite. 10-1 their last 11 games as a favorite, and they're on a 39-13 their last 52 games when playing a team with a record below 400. So this team always performs better, gets up for these games, and we do not see flat spots with the Islanders against below average teams. And it's taken the odds makers so long, shockingly, to catch up to how bad the Kraken are, just like Prez just mentioned. I've been down on them pretty much all season long. I know Carm has their under win totals. Hats off to him for that pick. But this Islanders team, guys, don't be scared of the prices with them on the regulation even, because they're doing well against teams they should do well in. And as Prez says, do your work and your research. I have here on this one, Prez, 10-1, their last 11 games as a favorite. They have done very, very well, the Islanders. So I feel like they're a play tonight. It's a great point there about the road teams. Just wanting to get in, get out. And this back-to-back, hey, I definitely agree. Carm hit us with the stats there on that one. Definitely a fade spot for the Kraken tonight. Let's jump into our very last game here on the show for best bets at the end. We've got the Flames. We have got the Coyotes, and what a comeback it was for the Flames last night. But they're minus 280 tonight against the aforementioned Arizona Coyotes with the biggest comeback since 2006. And now, or that for betting wise, since 2006, and total at 5.5. Prez, I'll start with you here. You know, we talk about betting odds. We talk about movement. We talk about the way these numbers change, opening lines, all that, these betting terms we use, and also just pricing. How do you attack a game like this here with Calgary minus 280? Everybody kind of is going to want to jump on the wagon here and fade Arizona after a big win like that. But how do you do it?
You know, Andrew, I just want to say the key to this game, actually, from my perspective, is Calgary winning last night against Dallas. Had Calgary have lost last night against Dallas, this would have been a minus 2.5 Calgary, plus 210 type of a bet. I mean, you would have had a scenario where it was a perfect spot to fade Seattle after that incredible victory last night, and a perfect spot to play on Calgary after a loss last night. But you had Calgary win last night and win in dramatic fashion. This is a terrible spot to play Calgary. It's a terrible spot to play Seattle. I see no reason to touch this game. If I were to play this game, and I'm not, I would take the dog in Seattle. Arizona. Sorry, I meant Arizona. They beat Colorado. I knew what I was talking about. I just said the wrong name. I would take Arizona in the spot, but I'm not going to touch this game.
I can't argue the odds there, and it's a big comeback.
I respectfully disagree with the Prez. It's not the first time I've disagreed with them. Won't be the last time I disagree with them. I think it's a good spot because this Calgary team, as I've said, is starting to string wins together. This team is starting to play extremely well. And case in point, this team could have absolutely folded up in the third period yesterday in Dallas, trailing 3-1. Markstrom, we don't know what happened to Markstrom because he did not come out for the third period. Daniel Vladar came into that third period for the Flames, and he's the projected goalie for tonight. It was always supposed to be him tonight in the second of a back-to-back, but he did have to come in the third, stop every shot. They came back and won that game. What better way for them to close out this half of the season and head into the All-Star break than another win against a team who might be, as Marco says, a little fat and sassy, doing what everyone said they couldn't do, going into Colorado and beating the Avalanche 3-2, and now they come home. I just can't help but think that this is actually a flat spot for Arizona at home. And Arizona's had a lot of flat spots all season. I think the puck line is the play here because you're not going to play minus 280. I actually think Calgary on the puck line is the play here. This is a team that were struggling for a long time, are now putting wins together. And when we talk about playoff percentage and the Islanders being at 7%, because Prez and I have a wager on this, Calgary is now 78% to make the playoffs this season. And if you look at the teams in front of them, they have a very good chance. And I actually still feel very good about my bet of the Calgary Flames winning their division over the that is currently held by the Vegas Golden Knights. They're only 7 points back with, I think, 4 games in hand on them, or 5 games in hand. So go Flames tonight. Flames -1.5 is my play.
I'll tell you what, guys. You guys have your disagreement. I'm passing. I'll sit in the sidelines. I'm at 2.
I said I'm passing too. I don't like. I literally said I'm passing, and I like.
You're passing with your clients.
Just
you
wants to create issues. I get it.
That is true. That is true.
Prez, I am looking forward to
Teddy and Carm. It's like, man, I sneeze out of the right side of my nostril. My left side gets lectured.
No. I am looking, listen, just, you know, you're going to lose the steak. I'm going to get my napkin ready. I'm going to tuck it in, and I am going to order the biggest tomahawk steak you have ever seen. And my +1 will be Rob Braley. I'm going to bring Rob Braley with me because
we never had +1
vodkas and some steaks.
We never organized the +1. Firstly, and secondly, anytime Rob Braley needs a dinner handout, I'm there for you, Rob.
All right.
Oh, I don't even know what to say sometimes here, but I definitely wasn't trying. Okay, Prez is passing on this game. Andrew is passing on this game. Carmine likes the Flames -1.5. Let's start with you, Prez. We're going to go to best bets and promos. Let us know what you have up for your clients tonight and a best bet here for the show.
Oh, Andrew, I got a 3-pack of NHL. I got 1 NBA, 1 college. They'll go up shortly. I have no promo code to give out. Check out WagerTalk today. We got 2 Tonys and an Art. As for my best bet, it is the Minnesota Wild in regulation at -120. And I do want to say that is a client release play as well. So that is one of the plays I'm actually giving out for my clients. Minnesota Wild -120 in regulation.
Right, Minnesota Wild in regulation. Make sure you check out Prez on WagerTalk today following this show, 12 o'clock Eastern time. Great guests every single day. Also, Art DeCesar on there as well. Carm, lots of games on the ice tonight. Obviously, some games on the pitch as well. Big game for Team Canada tonight.
Yeah, first off, Prez, giving out a client play. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Well done to you. My was on the puck line. I mentioned why. The team's playing extremely well. What better way to head into the All-Star break than another win before they head home? They've got a monster homestand coming up, 7 straight games at home. And they're winnable games. So you might want to look at this team continuing this streak on. 2 plays up right now in the NHL. Might be 1 further play added. A 5% play up in World Cup qualifying CONCACAF. That goes this evening as well too. I will be watching the Canada game as well. I have the multiple screens going. Go Canada! I think with a win tonight, we can pretty much almost lock up, but it's almost a certainty with a win tonight, a spot in the 2022 World Cup. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Awesome stuff, Carm. Best luck with your 5% play tonight, guys. Make sure you go check it out over at WagerTalk.com. I also have a 5% play tonight. It's on the ice. Really excited about it. Huge 69%, 5% NHL run since 2019. Not a short-term run by any means. 69% NHL 5% plays since 2019. January was 46% profit here for clients. 2022 is off to a great start. Yesterday, 8% profit for the clients on the ice in the NHL with some great props and 2-0 on my side plays. My best bet for today on the show, I mentioned it. The Islanders are 10-1 last 11 games as a favorite. They beat teams they should beat. Give me the Islanders over the Seattle Kraken at home to get the job done. In regulation, I might add, at -110. On behalf of the Prez and Carmine, I'm Andrew McInnis, and I'll see you guys on Monday.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12th, 2023 from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.